This presentation is about the work and influence Albert Kahn's life had on the architecture industry by Hannah Wick, Janelle Pichardo, and Darnell Burns. Albert Kahn was born on March 21, 1869 in Prussia, current-day Germany. He was the oldest of 6 children and lived in Prussia till age 11. His family then immigrated to Detroit, Michigan in 1880. His father was a trained rabbi and his mother was talented in both musical and visual arts. Most of his childhood was spent in the Grand Duchy of Luxembourg, where he attended school. Young Albert dreamed of becoming an artist. Despite displaying evidence of having musical talent, poverty prevented Kahn from pursuing his dream. In Detroit, he obtained a job in the office of architect John Scott. Unfortunately, he soon became discouraged due to his lack of progress. After hearing about Kahn, the sculptor Julius Melchers allowed him to attend his Sunday morning drawing classes for free. However, the discovery that Kahn was partially colorblind removed the possibility of him becoming an artist, so Kahn had to look for work. At age 15, Kahn found work at an architecture firm called Mason & Rice. He was initially hired as a draftsman and received $30 a month. Eventually, Mason became a mentor to Kahn, helping him learn and develop new skills in architecture. In 1890, Kahn won a scholarship from American Architect and Building News to study abroad in Europe for a year. He traveled to Italy, Germany, France, and Belgium. Henry Bacon, an American architect, traveled with Kahn, and together they learned about Roman and Greek architecture. When Kahn returned to Mason & Rice, Mason promoted him to chief designer. In 1895, Kahn opened his own architecture firm, Albert Kahn & Associates. Kahn and his brother Julius developed a new construction method, wherein reinforced concrete replaces the wood in the walls, roofs, and supports of factories. This technique allowed for better protection from fire in a more open, airy interior space. The Kahn truss bar, as it was dubbed, was a method of reinforcing the concrete by incorporating steel wings at a 45-degree bend. This helped the concrete more evenly distribute the stress it received. The first factory built with this new construction method was Packard Motor Car Company in 1903. Kahn married Ernestine Kralik, the daughter of a client. Ernestine was a graduate from the University of Michigan. She was integral to Kahn's success. She even advised Kahn with interior design ideas, color choices, and more. After the success of Packard's motor car factory, Henry Ford became interested in Kahn's designs. In 1909, Kahn designed Ford Motor Company's Highland Park plant. The complex featured offices, factories, a power plant, and a foundry. In 1913, the Highland Park complex became the first automobile factory to implement the moving assembly line. This dropped production time from 728 minutes to a mere 93. It also brought the price of a standard Model T down from $700 to $350, making a quality automobile affordable for many more American families. In 1917, Kahn also designed the mile-long Ford River Rouge complex in Dearborn, Michigan. This is the largest manufacturing complex of its time. According to the New York Times, Kahn's Ford River Rouge is regarded by scholars as one of the most important structures in the history of architecture, in its functional rather than its formalistic sense. In 1917, Kahn also designed the mile-long Ford River Rouge complex in Dearborn, Michigan. This was the largest manufacturing complex of its time. According to the New York Times, Kahn's Ford River Rouge is regarded by scholars as one of the most important structures in the history of architecture, in its functional rather than its formalistic sense. Kahn's designs for Packard and Ford established an industrial aesthetic for Detroit. Today, Kahn has more than 60 buildings listed on the National Register of Historic Places. His body of work extends from housing complexes and hotels to office buildings, factories, and even aquariums. Kahn's career spanned for 50 years until he was 73. Kahn continued to work till his death in December of 1942. Albert Kahn & Associates is still a functioning firm today. Albert Kahn's techniques and designs still hold a major influence on the architectural industry today. Kahn's architectural work, technological innovation, and creation of industrial environments both in the US and overseas created a legacy that continues today.